Yeah, we're very ready. I think we set out our ambition at the start of the tournament as a group and as a team, and we're very prepared for this next match, and we know that we can't take any game in this competition lightly.
Thank you very much. So before I continue the next session, I would like to request for the photographer to leave the room, please. Thank you very much. So now I open the floor for questions. So to the lady, yes.
Hello, Anna Harrington. Anna Harrington, Australian Associated Press. Craig, we know you didn't play the last game with that knee knock. How is it? Are you fit to play, and can you start and play a big percentage of this game?
Yes, I'm training fully today. It's obviously one where we took the decision to rest it to be okay for obviously this stage at the tournament. But it's in a good way. I'm training fully and ready to go, and hopefully, whether it's from a starting position or from the bench, I'll be able to play and have a big impact in this next match.
Thank you. Next question.
Joe Lynch for ESPN. Question for Coach Graham Arnold. Hi, Arnie. Nice to do this in person rather than over Zoom. But
yes,
following up from Craig, could you give us an update on the other members of your squad, their health and fitness, in particular Mitch Duke? How's he recovering?
Yeah, he's training fully today as well. It was a slight strain in his hamstring. Probably, he will train fully today. And as I said, he's available for selection, which is the main thing. And but we've got a few players in that position to think about, and just making sure that he's ready to go. We don't want him to be on the pitch and something happen again. So just making sure that that's all right. But as I said, he's back training today. Everyone else is 100% fit.
Thank you.
Rafik Al-Okabi, I have a question to Arnold and to Greg. Indonesia need a miracle to qualify. So are you more cautious from the Indonesia can make a surprise?
Yeah, look, I think Indonesia have, again, showing what the competition's about and the strength of the competition. And we every time we go on the pitch and every time we prepare and every time I prepare for a game, it's, we always prepare for a tough game, and we expect that tomorrow, and we have to be at our best. It's, you can't have any type of slip up in the mentality side of it. You've got to be prepared to play the best game of your life and go out there and get the job done, and that's what I expect tomorrow.
My question to Greg, you said before the Asian Cup you have an aspiration to win the trophy. Now the pathway for Australia, it's more clear. So what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Obviously, that's our ambition as we set out at the start of the tournament. But we have to, it's cliche, but have to take the approaches one game at a time. And as we've seen from this tournament, with all of the games against, I guess, what you would say is some of the big teams, they've struggled against some of the teams that you would expect to not do so well. So for us, it's, I guess, a game that we have to go into Indonesia and know that it is going to be a tough match and that we have to be on top of our game, but we'll prepare for this one the same way that we would prepare for a game against any nation.
Thank you. Next question.
Peter Stebbings from the news agency AFP. As a question for you, Craig, I'm just wondering, when you were here at the World Cup, especially going into the last 16, you were sort of clear underdogs against Argentina. Now you're playing here and the shoes on the other foot, you're kind of clearly favourites to beat Indonesia. How do you switch up that mentality? Thank you.
Well, I think, yeah, obviously it's a different scenario, but we have a group now that's got a great mentality and a great work ethic, and we've spoken about this, and we know it's shifting that and having that ruthlessness. I think it's when you're in this position and you are deemed as the favourites, it's harder. Everyone wants to come for you. Everyone lifts their game to meet your standards. And I think we've shown over the last 18 months that we are one of the best teams in Asia. But it's up to us to have that desire and that ruthlessness to prove it. And, like I said, we can't take these games against any opposition, and especially this one against Indonesia, because they have good players, they have good quality, and they've shown against the other teams that they can score goals and break them down. So we've got to be at our best.
Scott McKinnon, Network 10, Australia. Graham Arnold, you said right off the top you needed to be better in certain areas of the game. Where are you looking to improve tomorrow afternoon? What have you really identified as where you can get on top of Indonesia?
Yes, Scotty, in every aspect. You know, I think that every player individually can do better. And even, you know, everyone can do better. So it's more about the individual as well. That, you know, if they do better, the team does better. And, you know, sometimes technically turning ball over or, you know, the final third pass, you know, we can do much better. We've been working very hard on that for the last 3 weeks, and, you know, and I feel that we are getting better at it and we are improving. But, you know, it's got to be the mentality is the most important thing, the mindset, and that is the Aussie DNA, the Aussie way. And that's we fight till we drop. That's important.
And off the back of that last question, for you too, as coach, like you were underdogs going into most games in the World Cup. Now you're the big dogs, especially for this game tomorrow. How does that change your approach as head coach and getting that message across to your players?
Yeah, it doesn't change my approach at all. It's the most important thing for me is winning. And, you know, it's, you know, when you play for your nation and you're representing your country, it doesn't matter who you play against. It's about your own performance and doing the nation proud.
Graham Davis from Air News Media. Question for you, Graham. You looked at the statistics, you've seen how well Australia are doing in terms of getting touches in the half, the opponent's half, and also in the opponent's box. I think you've identified you're number one in the competition. But you've only hit the target once in open play in the last 2 games. So 15 of the players in the squad have never scored a goal at international level, the outfield players, and only 4 have scored more than 2. So there's not a lot of goal scorers at this level within your squad. How much of that do you think has been a problem?
Now, that's probably down to the fact that we have to change. We move on with players. You know, as I said to you the other day, we've only got 12 players here that were at the World Cup. Some players retired, some are injured, some, you know, have moved on. And you've got to regenerate the squad all the time. If you don't regenerate the squad, well, then nothing will change. And, you know, Geordie Boss, the other day against Uzbekistan, Geordie Boss, it was about his 4th or 5th game up front. Yengi, it was his 2nd appearance up front. So we had 2 inexperienced players up front, and that's what it's all about. You know, you can't just sit still and think that, you know, the players are always going to be there. You've got to move on. And as I said, regenerating the squad is also important, and bringing those kids in to give them an opportunity is crucial.
Sorry, for the gentleman here first.
Coach, the Australian team has got the champion in 2015. Do you think this time the team can go to final again? And then which team in the round of 16 you consider as some favorite teams to go to the final? Does it include Australia? Thank you.
Who's it for?
For the coach? Yes.
Yeah, look, we're just looking one game at a time, and that's all we ever do. There's no use looking too far in advance because that might not happen. So it's more about just focusing on what we can achieve and what we can do, and that is tomorrow at 2:30 we play Indonesia, and you know, we go out there and focus on that game and get everything right and believe in ourselves and win that game.
Do you have a question for a player? I'll let you ask first, yeah.
I just want to quickly ask one to Arnie, if I can. I'm not sure I see this as a David and Goliath battle so much as everybody else seems to. Indonesia are a very strong team and been very, very impressive, certainly in Southeast Asia. A new look team as well. A lot of the Euro guys that have come in, Jana, Clark, Baggett, these guys have added a new dimension to the team. I think Marcelino is one of the most creative kind of number 10s in the competition as well. So just generally, how do you see the threats with them? And I asked the same question to Shin Tae-yong. given that I think Indonesia is Australia's second closest neighbour, and certainly we are part of the ASEAN region, would you like to see Australia participate in the Mitsubishi Cup, the AFF tournament that goes forward as well into the future, and maybe build those rivalries within our own home region?
Yeah, look, it's a very good question. I think, again, you'll see tomorrow that there's a lot of new faces in the Indonesian team, and a lot of them foreigners, some Spaniards that play for them. But at the end of the day, it's that's how the Asia is growing, and the Asian tournament's getting harder and harder. And Indonesia, as you said, it's not a David v Goliath battle. It's two teams that will go out there and give it their best, and they've shown in this competition so far against Japan and against Iraq how strong they are, and obviously their win against Vietnam. So, we've obviously watched all the games. We've done all our research, and we're planning ourselves to win the game. Yeah, look, I think it would be great. Even if it's maybe not for the players playing in Europe, but also a tournament that can create depth, and for the younger players that are in Australia.
Next question.
Hello, this is. Hello? Okay. So, Coach, this is Ahmed Haji from Uda Media Network. I want to ask you, I've been around in this tournament since the first day, and I'm not seeing a lot of Australian fans in the tournament. How much impact this will affect your players and your team, especially as the matches are getting harder and harder in each stage? Thank you.
Yeah, look, we're used to playing away from home, and the fact that there's not probably more than 100 Australian fans here doesn't really have any impact on us. We played against Argentina in Beijing, and there was, I think, one Australian fan or two, but that's just the way it is. We've got a job to do here. All I do know is that there's a lot of fans back at home watching on TV and supporting us, and are right behind us, and are very proud of what we're doing. But, we can't manage, how many fans come over or not.
Arnie, maybe following up on something that you told Graham, you talked about the transition that you're undergoing in this squad, and you talked in the lead into the tournament about having, because of the rejig timing, having one eye on the Asian Cup, but also needing one eye on the World Cup. I guess now, with the benefit of having played the group stage and the benefit of hindsight, how do you think you've struck that balance of having eyes pointing in different directions with your squad selection for this tournament?
Yeah, I think where we are today, I'm very happy with the group of players and very proud of what they've achieved and done. But as I said to the boys yesterday, that's all data now, that's all history. It's all about, tomorrow. It's all about moving forward and doing not only ourselves and the nation proud, but our families proud, and making sure that we get the job done. And but as I said, it's international football is not just about you can't sign players and sign 26 players and have them for a full year under contract. Things can change so quickly, and as I said, the mentality that I've driven with the boys is this could be the last. It could be the last hurrah for everyone, if you know what I mean. Players-wise, there's no guarantees with national team football for anybody, and I think that has been shown by, obviously, as I said, out of 26 players that come to the World Cup last year, there's only 12 here, and those things, it just moves on very quickly, and so you treat every game as it is your last game. That's the most important thing.
Can we have a question for player, please?
Yeah, Craig, now we're in the knockout stages, we could get to penalty shootouts in theory. You were involved in the one against Peru, came off the bench right at the end and put the ball in the back of the net. Not an easy thing to do. What advice are you going to be giving to players who are either in that position or have never scored an international goal, and they're now expected to turn up in front of a passionate crowd and try and put the ball in the back of the net?
Yeah, look, I think as it comes to knockout football, we'll be very prepared, and we've been practicing already this week with penalties to prepare for every scenario. I hope that it doesn't come to that point, but, you know, my advice to any player that's stepping up will be to go up there with confidence. You know, I think we have a great group and we have a lot of young players that have a lot of confidence and who do take penalties at their club as well. So, you know, it's not, penalties aren't for everyone, and they're definitely a nervous thing to do, and especially in a big game, but it's about having that thought process that you're going to be the one to score the goal to put the nation through rather than thinking that you're going to miss. So, you know, I think we'll be very prepared, and we've been practicing them this week, so I think we'll be okay.
Last question, which will be for the player.
Yeah, Craig, obviously set pieces or creating chances has been a real strength of your game. There's been so much focus on struggling to score goals or create chances. How keen are you to take on that responsibility again with that left foot you've got?
Yeah, like I think it's something that is my job to bring to the team. Obviously being an attacking player, but of course over the last, in my opinion, over the last probably 2 years at club football and at international level as well, that's what I've seen my role as being that real creator, whether it's from open play or from set pieces, and I think I've done that in large majority of the games that I've played and been a real outlet. So, you know, that's my thought process. Obviously it's been a little bit annoying to pick up the knock that I got, and it's been about managing that to put myself back in contention for the team. But I know that whenever I'm on the pitch, that I'll be there and I'll be able to create for the team at any moment. So, you know, I think we've got a good group, and I think that is the final step. Obviously, like the boss said, there is more to work on from other aspects, but I think if we can really nail down that ruthlessness in and around the final third, then that'll take our game to the next level.